All right, man. Another video. Uh, another Lakers loss. They lose to Denver today, 129-118. LeBron decided to sit this game out, even though he had almost 3 days of rest. What was it? 21, almost, yeah. Well, almost 2 days of rest. It wasn't a back to back. You know, um, he did twist his ankle some time ago. But Anthony Davis twisted his ankle and his foot a lot worse than what LeBron did, and he's not even 100%, and he's trying to give a final push to help the Lakers get into that play-in tournament. Man, he still got something to play for. He still want to play, and it just seemed like it's a disconnect. It seems like LeBron James is on something totally different. I think he's giving up on the season. If not, he would be out there pushing, saying, me being out there might help this team with something. I can give them something. But what I really think it is I think that he doesn't want to go out there if he's not as close as 100% as possible, because then he won't be able to do everything he want to do as far as scoring. And I think he really want that scoring title. So him going out there on the floor, if he's not able, like what Anthony Davis was tonight. You seen him in the second quarter start favoring on his foot. Well, I didn't even think he was gonna be able to finish the game, but he stuck it out and he gave him 28 points. Man, he played really good. He played real good. That's the best I've seen him play all season. With LeBron James on the floor with him, he's played better tonight than I've seen him play all season. LeBron could have helped them, but I think he, in his mindset, he's thinking, I don't want to go out there and be half of myself and end up only scoring 20 because it's going to mess up his scoring average. I really believe that's what he's doing. So he's going to wait it out and get as much rest as possible, so he can, get the minimum of 58 games, which he needs 2 more games to do that, and keep his scoring average. And if his ankle was that much of a problem, then he would just sit out the rest of the season, period. Let Anthony Davis and Melo and Westbrook try to get them in the play-in, because they played well tonight. Um, they could have pulled this game out. They played well. So go ahead and heal 100%, like Anthony Davis tried to do. Just sit out. Stop coming out there trying to play, because you're making it more obvious that you're playing for something different than trying to get in the play, and you're playing for your scoring title. So anyway, I say all that to say this, and I had to wear my Laker hat for this. We A lot of people always say, how did LeBron leapfrog Kobe in the top 10 all time discussion? I don't want to say GOAT discussion, because I don't think LeBron's in the GOAT discussion. But in the top 10 all time discussion, how did LeBron in everybody's minds just leapfrog Kobe Bryant? And I kind of wanted to talk about that, um, and see where actually LeBron really belongs. Me personally, my top 10, well, I just say my top five. Me personally, my top five is Michael and Kareem, 1 and 2. And um, I haven't seen a player yet, other than Kobe, that'll make me change my mind and debate for that number 2 spot. No, the only person that's worthy of that number 1 spot, other than Michael Jordan, is Kareem. So if someone thought that Kareem was a GOAT, I won't even debate them. I just say, okay, cool, we disagree. I think it's Mike, but I won't debate it, because I think he is a very good choice if you want to crown him as a GOAT. Very good choice, man. We're talking about somebody who's won on every level, coming from high school, won in college at UCLA. Yeah, he wasn't able to play as a freshman, but if he did, he probably would have won 4 straight national titles. But I think he got 3 at USC later, and immediately showed up in the NBA and started winning and scoring buckets, and I think he's number one in scoring, number three in rebounding. He might be at another, top 10 in blocks and 1-6 as well in the league, man. Kareem's a good choice. Now, if you got Kareem too, is it reasonable to put Kobe in a debate with Kareem? Maybe, because I think Kobe was such a better, for the same reasons why we put MJ ahead of Kareem, because him as a player was more complete and better. That's the same argument you can use for Kobe. However, I think Kareem's resume on paper blows Kobe's out of the water just by circumstances. I mean, like, Kobe showed up out of high school already on a playoff team that had Shaq, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Byron Scott, and a coach in Dale Harris that didn't believe in playing rookies. Right. So right out of the gates, he had a different challenge than most people, like LeBron or Carmelo, that was able to show up as a number one pick on a team that was horrible and didn't have not one player to challenge them for the top dog spot. And they were just like, hey, go out there and do what you can do and perform. Win, lose, or draw. I mean, you got the green light to do whatever you want. That's kind of different, a different way to start your career off. So Kareem is second for me, Kobe's third for me. And then that's when it gets real tricky, when you got Bird, Magic, LeBron, Duncan, Wilt, uh, Hakeem, and maybe, I don't know who I'm missing. Did I say Shaq? Did I say Hakeem?
You said Hakeem. You didn't say Shaq.
Yeah, maybe Shaq.
I was
That's
thinking,
when
like,
it
why does Shaq not get a lot of top 10 love? I mean, he might not be like top 5 in the top 10, but like Shaq
it's
was.
it's weird because who's the best center? All right, so put it this way. Let's go top five. Let's go top five. Oh, well, let's go top 10. Uh if you was making a top 10, you got five positions, you can kind of rule of thumb automatically say whoever the best at their position is definitely got to be top 10.
Hmm.
So if we take the best point guard, we all saying Magic, right?
Yeah,
If we take the best two guard, we all saying, well, who?
Mike.
Mike. If we take the best small forward, you might have a debate between LeBron and Bird, but who we going with?
Probably Bird for me.
Probably Bird. For some people, LeBron. So, well, if it's
This
a
man
debate,
right here, you know.
look, if we doing 10, so if it's a debate, put both of them in, right? So if it's, so put Bird and LeBron in, right? So that's one, two, that's one, two, three, four. Power forward, best power forward is who?
Duncan.
Duncan. So he's automatically top 10. And best center is who? Kareem,
Yeah.
right? Right. Now, who would be number two behind Kareem? Probably Wilt.
Tough. That's tough.
Probably Wilt. Wilt's
Why not
better than
Shaq?
Shaq. Wilt's better than because Wilt's better than Shaq. I'm going with Wilt. And who would be number three? It still wouldn't be Shaq. And number three, I'm going Hakeem. So Shaq ain't even top three in his own position. It's hard to give him top 10 love because once you double back and go back to point guard, it might not be another guy, but at two guard, you got to go Kobe behind Mike. So you got two guards in.
Why
You
not
got
John
two.
Stockton as the other point?
Well, I mean, because he's way down the list as far as the guys that's coming next.
So then, who would be the second best point guard of all time?
Isaiah, but he not top 10 either. Is other guys better than him? Kobe's better than him.
So in the top 10, we just got one point guard then, and that Magic.
In the top 10, I think we just got one point guard. I think Magic undisputed the best point guard, and as far as top 10 love, he's the only person in his position in there. The small four might get three in there pretty soon because I think before it's all said and done, Kevin Durant is going to be in there.
If he's not, well, I
Kevin
won't say
Durant's gonna be in there
he's
because
gonna be
he's
in
on
there for sure.
he like LeBron's playing 20 years to break Kareem's record. KD, if he don't have another injury where he miss a whole season, he's on pace to once LeBron get that record, is gonna get broken by KD.
Yeah, he just hit 25 this year.
Yeah, so
25,000.
yeah, he had that record. He have it. So
You think
um
Curry will ever crack top 10?
possibly, yeah. But with his resume right now, he ain't passed Isaiah yet as a point guard.
Well, what does he need to pass Isaiah?
Um, see, that's an interesting question. So before we get into the LeBron and Kobe stuff, how do you do your GOAT debate or your top 10 debate? Because it's a couple of ways to do it. Some people are only looking at the paper resume
Mm-hmm.
and everything that you can put on paper, your MVPs, your finals, your records. That's the only thing they're looking at. And then some people are looking at who's the better player on the floor. And then it's people like me who actually are doing a combination of both. So to me, Steph Curry is a better player than Zeke already. But the degree of difficulty of Isaiah getting two rings in that era when he was a small point guard and the best player on the team,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's harder than what Steph did with the team that he had and the help that he had. I mean, he got one trying to do it as the best player, but the other two he did it as the second best player with KD, another top 10 player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Isaiah never got the luxury of a guy being that good on his team, and he was able to get two and beat Bird, Magic, and Michael Jordan in doing so. So yeah, so what Steph, to answer your question, what Steph would need is just more on his paper resume because I already think he's surpassed him as a player.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes down to the top 10, it's always going to be subjective unless you go strictly by the numbers. But then, even still, the top 10 won't be the top 10 that everybody likes if you go strictly by the numbers. It's always going to be the paper resume and the eye test combined.
Right.
And when it comes down to that, my eye test might be different than your eye test. I might like something in LeBron's game that you don't necessarily like, and vice versa. And that might shift the rankings a bit. So when it comes down to top 10, it's an iffy subject, but I think we can all agree, like, if some of these um, media outlets come out with these outlandish top 10s and top 15 lists and they're just absolutely terrible, then those are the ones where, okay, no, that's jacked up. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
It's got to be like some kind of consistency where it's like, so if you got Mike and Kareem floating back and forth between 1 and 2, that's a good start. You got Magic somewhere in there in the top 5, that's a good start. And then when you get to start talking on Bron, like you said, he still has Bron at 4. It gets kind of muddied, and I've seen Bron slide from some say he's the greatest to second, third, and he slid all the way down to 10th or maybe even 11th, just outside the top 10, depending on who you're talking to.
Man, he's too good to be outside the 10. I can never have LeBron outside the 10. If I ever say that, it's temporarily frustration with something he done that's so fraudulent that pissed me off, man. That I might say that, but if I'm making an official list, he's gonna be in my 10, and I think he might be solid in the 5. But it's a discussion. Let me get to the comments though. I still have Brian at number 4 behind MJ, Kareem, and Wilt. That's kind of high for Wilt. X Man, why you got Wilt so high? Just the pure numbers. I mean, he won 1 ring with the Lakers, maybe 2, and he was playing with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West. I mean, Kareem is a monster with the numbers, man. And maybe you can say that if it wasn't for the Celtics having such crazy good squad early on that Wilt might have more rings. I don't know. Um,
I don't understand why he wouldn't have Duncan that high though.
I mean, you got to have Duncan high, man. Like, man, I got Shaq over King X Man. What? Okay, that's fair.
See
So
what I mean
so
by subjective? Like it all depends on who you're talking to.
well, I mean, you got to explain why though. I mean, it might be a good reason that I'm overlooking. I mean, definitely if you look at Shaq and Hakeem on paper, Shaq has 4 rings, a three-peat under his belt, a couple of MVPs,
Scoring title.
um, scoring title. You know, the paper resume, and then I think Hakeem body broke down a little faster than Shaq's did. So paperwork wise, yeah, maybe Shaq's blowing Hakeem out of the water. As a player, I think Hakeem's blowing Shaq out of the water. So when you put those two together, where do they fall? Which one did you prioritize? Them as a player? Because the way I look at it, what Hakeem did on a daily basis and honing his skills, like imagine what Shaq and Hakeem, what their workouts was like and how different they was. Like I can imagine Hakeem going in there. Number one, first and foremost, he was in top shape. I mean, he ran like a deer. He pretty much moved on the court like Giannis does. Hakeem did. He moved as well as Giannis. So he's in tip top shape. He undersized. He probably was eating right. He going in the gym. He practicing jump hooks, fadeaways over both shoulders, reverse pivots, drop steps. Turn around. Up and unders. Pump fakes, all that stuff. And then Shaq, all he did was just not work out all summer, come back in out of shape for the training camp, be 350 pounds, and be fat and play his way into shape halfway through the season while Kobe carried the team. And then by the playoff times, he was ready to go, and he just muscled people out of the way. Like that's a different preparation for me, and it showed on the floor. Hakeem was just a better player.
Okay.
But you can't teach 7'1", 340. You can't teach that. That's why when people want to learn anything in the low post, nobody calls Shaq. Everybody calls Hakeem.
Okay.
Even guards call Hakeem for low post help. I respect Duncan at the top 10. Steph needs a Finals MVP to meet
I was
to
thinking the
respect
same
him.
thing.
Zeke only got one Finals MVP though.
But Steph has none. Remember, because
Steph got
Andre
none.
Iguodala took that Finals MVP in 2015.
Yeah. The fact that who are you talking about, Bliss? The fact that his
I
playoff
guess you talking about
performance,
Curry.
the fact that his playoff performance is worse than his regular season performance is hurting him. Yeah,
He does tend to disappear in the playoffs, but I don't know. The last couple of years, they had Durant. I think it was better for him because he didn't have to be the number one.
yeah,
But
when you're a small player, and they start changing how they call the game in the playoffs, it makes it harder for you because his offensive game is predicated on him shooting and him running off screens and all that stuff, and it becomes easier for defenders to deal with you because they're going to allow more bumping and pulling and grabbing, and they're going to allow more of that stuff in the playoffs. So it makes sense for his playoff his playoff numbers to take a dip. X said he juggled. What's up, X? He said I'm juggling between Zeke and Curry. Yeah, it's still a conversation for sure. I rate players on a variety of things: offense, defense. Yeah, you can't forget the defensive end: MVPs, All NBAs, chips, playoff performances, skills, tangibles, etc. Yeah. Total stats are total stats. I don't like using total stats at all because the only thing that tells me is one, especially when you're talking about top 10. Because if you're in the top 10, that means you're a cold-blooded killer on the court. And if I'm averaging 25, Chris, and you're averaging 25, but you play 20 years, you're gonna have more total points than me, right? Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that you're a better scorer than me?
Not necessarily, no.
It doesn't. What's up, Mike? So it doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I'm with you on total points.
Because like just case in point, like LeBron has more points than KD, but is LeBron a better scorer than KD?
No. somebody said Hakeem was 36 in college. All right, man. Yeah, fun. All right, so let's get into this Kobe LeBron stuff, man. Let me ask y'all, man, where y'all got Kobe and LeBron at pertaining to the top 10?
Kobe's already above LeBron for me.
Why?
Just watching, well, one, the resume is better for me.
Is it?
And what, between Kobe and LeBron?
Yeah, I want to hear. I'm gonna challenge everything you say. Not because I agree or disagree. I just want everybody to just listen to understand where you're coming from with it.
Okay, so I'm not too keen on all the Kobe stats just because I didn't get into the watching.
Well, you can't use that then if you don't know.
I still did some like I know something. I know a few things. Okay.
Yeah, 57.
My bad, y'all.
Oh, you good?
Are you a cop?
Nah, man. I thought I told y'all when I do armed security at a nuclear power plant in Iowa.
Yeah, they sent him to spy on you.
Yeah. Somebody told me Rittenhouse resume came across y'all desk last week.
So for me having Kobe over LeBron is more of what I've seen than but although I still take into account the fact that he's got more championships, a better score, stuff like that.
LeBron, I feel like we need a LeBron guy on the panel, man. Is X-Man, are you pro LeBron?
As opposed to what?
Kobe.
Yeah. I mean, I got LeBron. If we talk about greater or better, because I always like separate those two. I think Kobe's better than LeBron. Okay. I think LeBron's greater than Kobe.
Okay. All right. So I want you to explain all that after Chris finished. Then, yeah, I'm glad we got a pro LeBron guy. As a matter of fact, I just shut up. I'll mute my mic. I'll let you challenge everything Chris say.
Could we not refer to me as a pro LeBron guy?
Yeah, there's on that train right now.
I don't even like LeBron like that.
That's good, but you being objective. So I mean you ain't gotta like him. I always tell people I like basketball, not men. So go ahead, Chris.
He can go ahead, and I'll challenge him with my Kobe. Okay.
All right, cool. Go ahead, X.
I gotta go. Okay, shit. Okay, so I think Kobe does have one more ring than LeBron, but LeBron was the Finals MVP and a leader for all of his rings. So I just don't think one more ring is enough to justify that. And plus, I think LeBron has more MVPs, and of course he got the longevity argument, obviously, in all NBA teams. So I think he just accomplished a little more.
Okay, so
I think his longevity helped him accomplish a little more. Correct. I think if it wasn't for that reason.
Explain your distinction between greater and better, because I share that same thing, and it's good. I'm glad you never heard me say that. And I heard you say it. Like I always tell people, it's a difference between better and greater.
Right.
Like that word "great" just means so much. Like Hitler was a great leader.
What?
Why gotta go that route?
I mean, because we just talking about the word "great." No, he was a great leader, but he's better?
Right. He
was
right.
Great.
Yeah.
He was great.
Right,
so was Napoleon and all these other totalitarian type leaders. They still was great.
The views expressed by Melvin Wall do not represent those of the panel.
No.
I get what you're saying. I know exactly.
That was just a completely. That's a good.
No, but I'm saying, but that's the word "great." It doesn't mean they was good. It don't mean it was better than another great leader who did good things. Like Hitler did terrible things,
Right.
but in order for him to get people to follow him, he had to be a great leader to do that. He was
he had to inspire, even if it was for the
Exactly.
wrong reasons. He
Right.
inspired people to
Right.
believe in what he was doing.
right.
Well, the best thing to do is to hope that at some point this video falls under the radar as your YouTube channel gets bigger, because I'm positive somebody's gonna try to take this out of context. I'm positive.
I know.
Knowing that the outrage culture we live in, I'm positive somebody's gonna take this out of context.
That's true. That's true.
Is Jay
you're
talking? Because if he is, I can't hear him.
Jay, your mic on? Nah, your mic not on, Jay.
Yeah. Anyway, but I was saying, when I'm thinking of better, I'm just thinking purely of like skill and like you know how you perform on the court.
Yeah,
I think
as a
Kobe, because a lot of players are just going to be, unfortunately, at least for their career, when you go in their overall career, they're just going to be better than Bron because he's too lazy on the defensive end. It took him a while to develop into a great defender, and then he did for a couple of years, and he was really great. And then he just started getting lazy after like around the second stint with Cleveland. You can see he started getting like falling asleep on a defensive end to rest up for offense. Yeah. So the fact that Kobe's already going to be better than him on the defensive end because he's not lazy and because he's consistent and elite, and the fact that there's an argument between the offense, that already puts Kobe ahead of him, like just like that. Yeah.
So which one would you use? So you saying Kobe's better, LeBron's greater,
right?
Which one are you using if you're making a top 10? How do you justify putting one over the other? And which one do you put?
I use greatness for making my rankings because
so
if we're talking about better, because we talk about better, Shaq would be very, very lower on a lot of lists if we're talking about just like pure skill and all that.
Right.
Shaq is in the top 10 because he accomplished a lot.
Okay.
I still take skill into account, but I'm just saying
so you got LeBron over Kobe.
Right.
So what number you got LeBron at?
I got him 4th.
You got him 4th.
Mm-hmm. Damn, how far is Kobe?
I don't actually know. I'm still juggling my head to the bottom 10. I got the top 5.
Were you the one that said you don't have Duncan that high, or was that somebody else?
It was two people. It was me and somebody else.
Why don't you have Duncan that high?
Oh, I gotta go.
Well, not top 5 high, but like, why don't you have Duncan higher in the top 10 or in the top 10 at all?
I have him in the top 10. I have him as the best power forward of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your top 10?
Me?
Well, your top 5. You said you got your 5 already.
Right. Okay. So I had MJ, Kareem, Wilt, Bron, and Magic.
Yeah, he got Wilt high, man.
Yeah,
he got Wilt real high.
I did.
That's based off the number. Them numbers crazy, man.
It's not just that. Like I said, the main thing that hold Wilt back is that his playoff performances are not great. He flames out too much in playoffs, and he didn't win, and he's not a winner. Those are the two things that I think I can use against him.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like offense, he was really elite on the offensive and defensive end. He was a great rebounder, and he has a lot of accomplishments and MVPs and all that. It's just that, like I said, the playoff performances and them lack of rings really, really hurt him.
Yeah. Jay?
What up, man?
Hey, watching this 4-year period of Bron and the Lakers, 3 years of losing basketball and 1 year of AAU tournament bubble ring.
1 year championship.
Do you?
Is that year you're speaking of when they were proclaimed NBA champions?
I told Mel this. I was like, every time the Lakers played, they show us that ring was a fluke. Every time they
like, if you take the 3 years outside of that bubble and be like, okay, what's the difference between that year and the 3 years of losing basketball, and it's a 3-month break in between before starting a NIT tournament.
People being able to be healthy
to decide,
and that he's now playing in the Western Conference instead of the East. So
let me ask this, just being a devil's advocate here. Any team that wins the championship in the bubble, is it an asterisk or is it just the Lakers?
It's an asterisk.
No, I don't think it's
everybody.
I don't think it's an asterisk as long as you keep winning. That's my point. Like sometimes people try to put an asterisk next to something, but you got to prove them wrong and show that it wasn't a fluke. He proved it was a fluke even more so by getting Russell Westbrook, getting another franchise star on his team, and now struggling to even make the play-in. Not just the playoffs, but the play-in with 3 franchises. Like, that's just not an entire roster change. That
one of the things I could agree with that almost. The 4 years in LA was 4 distinctly different teams, personnel wise. We ain't even talking about how they perform. Just every year the names, like there hasn't been a lot of continuity between one year to the next.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I mean, we all have our suspicions about why, but for whatever reason, so this team now isn't the team that was in the bubble, and it isn't the team that was there when LeBron first got there. So
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
wouldn't even compare them. You know what I mean? I wouldn't compare the 4 years.
Yeah.
But
hold on. I agree with that, but this is, and I'm not saying you, but this is the thing. If a person that is supporting that argument for LeBron also has the same argument saying that KD ring doesn't count because he joined the 73-9 Warriors team, knowing that the Warriors got rid of 9 players to bring in KD and then bought in 9 new players to create the team after that year. I'm trying to figure out how the Warriors was the same team when KD joined it as a team that won 73 games.
Because people are moving the goalposts to accommodate LeBron's legacy.
No, because people move the goalposts. Period. One thing that I am, I'm not a goalpost mover. So we have to decide whether rings count or they don't.
They always,
you know what I'm saying? This ring can't count here and that one count there, and we're
not saying the ring. We're not saying the ring don't count because the NBA said the ring count. What we're saying is,
hold on.
The
That's
3 years outside of that ring with LA is letting us know that what happened in the bubble is a fluke.
Okay. So when you're done, let me know.
Okay, I keep going if I got the floor. So we started this saying. And I've been a big proponent of this from the beginning because I don't operate on hindsight, right? I get in front of things and say things that a lot of people don't even agree with, so I get a lot of pushback on it, and then time always tell the truth because hindsight is 2020 for a lot of people, but I got 2020 before we get to hindsight, so it don't matter what my take is, right? I eventually end up being right. And I always told people this bubble is not the same thing. I said, can't count. I said this. No, you said I got the flow. So I'm gonna keep going. So this bubble is not the same thing as the grind of an 82 game season plus playoffs with only 1 week break in between for All-Star break. These people got 3 months.
And they also dealt with the pandemic.
Anthony Davis can't get through 3 weeks without an injury, and neither can LeBron. And that team was older that year than they are this year. I'm 100% confident, especially when you take into account the 3 years outside of the bubble, that they never would have made it to the finals without that 3-month break. That's why it's a fluke.
Okay, so again, what I was saying had nothing to do with any of that. When you're discussing individual greatness, either we're going to count rings to propel greatness, or we're not going to count them at all.
We ain't got there yet, though. We ain't got there yet. We were just talking about the bubble and it being different.
No. Before that, we was talking about the rings or whatever. So, and you had asked, you guys were talking about the difference between being better and being greater, and then he talked about Wilt not having playoff success and not being a winner. So I'm still speaking to all of that. I personally, because you know this, I personally don't count team accomplishments at such as championships and playoff runs and all that to define individual greatness. Never have. I think Jordan's great without 6 rings. You know what I'm saying? I think Bill Russell is not that great with 11 rings. I don't care about that. Robert Horry is a tremendous role player. 7 rings doesn't define him at all. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we're talking about greatness, I personally think that the ring conversation shouldn't it shouldn't be part of the conversation, no matter what. Now,
well, if we do that, then the score shouldn't matter either. We should just go out there and play.
No. See, the score,
we shouldn't. Because
hold on. The score determines how great the score, the rings, all of that determine how great the teams are. So if you're speaking about this year's Lakers team, they suck. If you're speaking about the 2003 Bobcat team, they suck too. You dig what I'm saying? But if we're talking about the greatness of teams, hey, all time the Lakers are pretty great. The Celtics are pretty great. Franchise.
I got you. Let me say this one thing, Joe. Let me say this one thing, though, Jay. The flaw in saying that rings are a team accomplishment, so we it shouldn't matter in the discussion on how good an individual is because I've always been on record saying everything that happens on the floor is a team accomplishment except free throws. Free throws is the only thing you do by yourself. I can't score a point with 5 men on the court unless you occupy 4 of them and they have to guard you. If all 5 men guarded me, I wouldn't be able to score. So even my individual points,
which is why Shaq is really high on my list.
Even with my individual points, that is predicated to the team. Everything on the court except free throws is a team accomplishment. And guess what? LeBron can't shoot free throws. So if you just take it down and you take every team accomplishment away and just say, what can you do individually? Free throws, then LeBron is like top 15, top 20 on the list. If that's where we're going with it. If we can't count anything that the team contributes to.
Again, to win a championship, it starts well before the first tip-off is ever thrown. It starts in the front office. It starts in the offseason. It starts, it's a lot more than, because we've seen great players not win championships. You can't say that Dan Marino's not great. You can't say Charles Barkley's not great. You can't say that Karl Malone's not great. Like, these are great players. So I think people use the championship thing to discredit certain players or to big up other players.
No, they don't.
Listen to me. Again, this has nothing to do to me about LeBron at all. Like, if you're talking about quarterbacks, and I know I'm switching sports or whatever.
Okay.
Dan Marino is greater than Eli Manning. I don't care. Eli got 2 championships. You know what I'm saying? But there's people that would make an argument. Eli's elite. He won 2 championships. Shut up. He's not better than Dan Marino. No one would confuse that. Well, Giants.
All right. Let's go here, Jay. Who's your top 5?
Top 5. My top 5 is really different. In no particular order. Bean, Bron, MJ, Shaq, and the Admiral.
Oh shoot, them last Super Bowl you lost. Go ahead, X.
So my issue, I just have to respond. The thing about you're right, championships shouldn't be the only thing that define players, but they should always be included, especially when you're the franchise player of your team and have an entire team built around you. Right. I mean, that's the reason they drafted you to the team was so that you can help them win championships, especially as the leader. They didn't draft you to the team
the reason they drafted you to the team is to sell out arenas. They don't care as much championships than they do about merch sales.
Well, that's part of it too. I think some franchises are also in the business of winning. But some franchises are probably prioritizing the business end of it as well. Let me get to these comments real quick. Moore said Stockton's total numbers are better than Magic's. It sure is. He's number 1 in assists, number 1 in steals, and Isaiah. But no one would say he's better than either of them. I agree with
actually,
that.
A lot of people would, but Melvin would get real mad if you did.
Kobe said LeBron got everything handed to him. It might be a little. Well, I wouldn't say handed to him. I mean, he had his hand in creating his own environment that he wanted. All great players stayed with I think their team, that's what makes them better.
Well, you can't really say that. First of all, times are changing in every sport. These players are going to get their bread more than any time ever. So people leaving teams, go to other teams. That's just a sign of where we're at now culturally. I don't think that has anything to do with anything other than that.
I think we'll get better unwrap that in a minute. Hold on. Same Magic team that beat LeBron, I think in the second round, Kobe won a chip off of them. Sure did. Same Celtics team that beat LeBron, Kobe won a chip off of them. Sure did. You can give me all the numbers in the world. I want Kobe in the foxhole with me. Pause. Yeah. I take Kobe in the foxhole as well.
Real
Great
quick,
way to look at it. I don't know who Morris was talking to. I don't know if that was in response to something you said or X said or something I said. Probably me though.
I doubt it.
It might have been you responding to one of the comments, Mel. It ain't all about you.
I know. I just did it. Poke fun at Jay, man. Make Jay piss Jay off. Dude in the middle. Oh shoot, dude in the middle just be chatting. Hey, that's what he here to do though. He here to chat.
What the fuck?
No. I'm gonna come to my boy's aid, man. He here. That's what he here to do.
This is a podcast.
And, unless y'all jump in, I add the link in. Y'all can we can get up to 10. Y'all can jump in as well.
So let me ask you a question.
Chat. If not, then just comment, listen. But there's the link right there. Y'all can join in as well. All right, man. We got to get into this Kobe LeBron stuff, man. Because I really didn't want to go whole full-fledged top 10, man. If you think Kobe's better, I want to hear why. If you think LeBron's better, I want to hear why, man. Let's get into that conversation.
What do we
start with first, on the court or on paper?
Let me go with this one. For me, I will always put Kobe over LeBron just from a pure skill position. Pure skill. Like there are things that Kobe has always been able to do on the court that LeBron can't do, like Kobe can score in a multitude of ways. LeBron, like it's more physical ability than skill set that makes him great. What do we always say about him? He's 6'8", 260, 270, like an unstoppable force and stuff like that. But if you put him in certain situations, he's not effective. But you can't say that with Kobe. With Kobe, you can't say, oh, I'm going to force him left and play him this way the whole game because he can't do this. Or I'm going to force him right because he can't do this. If I put him on the left side, right side, can't do it because Kobe constantly worked on his game. Any deficiencies he felt he had, that's what he worked in over the summer, even if he won a championship or not. And someone had said earlier about who would you rather play with at the end of the day. For me, it'll always be Kobe, because I feel with LeBron, LeBron is only as effective as a team around him, but Kobe gonna get his regardless of who he plays with. It don't matter who's around Kobe. Kobe is going to be Kobe. But LeBron has proven that he can only be as effective around if he has certain type of players playing with him. And I'm just talking strictly from a skill point of view.
Hey, that's true. They always say LeBron needs shooters, LeBron needs shooters, LeBron needs shooters. You hear that a lot. So it's a whole
granted, their mentalities of the game is totally different. LeBron is more of a passer as to where Kobe said, I'm gonna kill you, one way or another. So they're different styles of play. So I give them that. But at the end of the day, with LeBron, I feel like he could have, and I've always said this, he could have worked on his game in other aspects so that when he got older, this is the stuff he can fall back on. He's still trying to play the same game at 37. And it's not as effective.
Except he's gotten real lethal with that 3-point shot, though.
Oh, agreed. But like my man said, he can't play that way at the top of the key and give it back on defense on the other side. He can't do that. But he's willingness. He's not sitting there and saying, okay, I can't play both ends effectively like I used to. let me stop doing it this way and work it from a different angle, so that way I can give maximum effort on both sides of the ball.
Right. Right. Now that's a good point, man. Anybody got a rebuttal?
I agree.
And by the way, Chris, he more said he was referring to what I said. Interesting.
I started to delete that comment before you could see it.
I had already said it. What hindered Kobe was his injuries, and once LeBron joined Miami, Kobe never played with another All-Star again, and it went south. Gasol got too old. That's fair. Gasol was. Let's be honest. Gasol wasn't no Garnett or no Stoudemire or no Bosh. You know, he was at his best. He was a top 5 power forward. If you're counting Garnett, Bosh, Stoudemire, Duncan, right? Those, I think Gasol is not better than those 4, but he's definitely the 5th best power forward. So he had a top 5 power forward. The only problem is LeBron had a top 5 power forward is his number 3, and he had Wade, and then he had himself. So it was just the Miami team was just different.
People forget about Lamar Odom.
What you got him at as far as top 5 power forward?
Who?
Lamar.
He
never reached top 5, right?
Nah, top 10, but not top 5. You're right. But I'm just saying, we talk about when
he was good at his role.
Yeah, those Lakers teams where they had pieces that kind of gelled together. The only thing that I would rebuttal to Mike was I would probably rather play with LeBron than Kobe.
Explain that.
Because Kobe gonna get his. Then, like he gonna get his. I mean, he told somebody, a certain Smush Parker, a triple team me is better than an open you.
He also told Shaq when he asked him to hey man, pass the ball, he said you better get that offensive rebound if you want the run.
yeah. So
he said that because they were playing like trash. So he said, "Fuck it, do my thing."
Yeah, lead from the front or get you better keep up or get left.
Yeah, so night in and night out, I would probably rather play with LeBron because he's gonna try to get you the ball. Sometimes.
Yeah, but see, Jay, you played in the post. So if you play with LeBron, that means you're setting screens all night long, right?
And you're getting out of the post so he can drive.
Yeah, and you're not getting the post up.
I got a guard skill set in my mind.
Stop it, Jay.
Can I point? Hold on.
Go ahead, Ed.
So I think the issue what we're not acknowledging, LeBron does pass more, but players have to play in a LeBron James system. So their careers are going to get nerfed down. And therefore, if he wins, because if LeBron wins, he doesn't want any miscommunication of other people getting just as much or equal credit as him for that victory. And if he loses, because their numbers are going to be lower than they were when they played with LeBron, his teammates are going to get credit for not performing well enough. That's what it's like to play in a LeBron James system. So it's like even if you're a great player, it's not like you're going to get like a lot of shot attempts or shooting attempts while playing with LeBron unless it's relevant for his stat.
It's almost like you got to sit there and you got to let LeBron make his move, and then you just got to say, well, shit, if he's going to pass it, I got to be here. If not, he's going to do what he does.
Now to be fair.
Now LeBron can play in a more team-oriented system. The closest we've seen that was Miami Heat. There's no shock because that's where he had most of his success. But he literally does not want to. He literally hated it playing with the Miami Heat.
He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to leave Miami because Miami was demanding defense every play and demanding that he played in Spoelstra system and not the LeBron system.
And it's crazy because he was playing the best version of basketball he's ever played.
Exactly.
Skill-wise too.
Yeah.
I agree.
LeBron was you can't deny that Miami LeBron was a different breed. Like LeBron as a whole is a different breed, but Miami LeBron was the Miami years. Those 4 years were just incredible to watch. I remember watching those Christmas games and the playoffs and those finals, and I was just like, man, like the way basketball was played at that time was incredible. LeBron, like X said, LeBron, those were the best years of LeBron's career, skill wise.
That's when I was entertained. That's when back then when I was entertaining the whole LeBron, not to get off subject, the whole LeBron versus MJ GOAT debate, because he was really versatile on a defensive end. He was playing on a team system and still putting up the monstrous numbers. He went to 4 straight finals. He was getting back-to-back MVPs. Like this is the LeBron we deserve to get, and unfortunately we didn't get that LeBron after he left. Once he went back,
Pat Riley and Spoelstra was trying to bring it out of him and showing them what great. I mean, Pat Riley had so much admiration for Michael Jordan. He retired his number 23 in Miami.
Right.
Yep. And he never played for Miami. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you can understand the type of conversations they probably was having behind closed doors, and he was trying to bring out a different type of animal in LeBron. But I think LeBron had his sights on other stuff, man. Like he really wanted to bring Cleveland in the ring, and now that he got the monkey off his back, he got 2 rings with Miami. It wasn't that much pressure on him from the media saying he can't win the big win, and you're not gonna be compared to MJ if you can't win. So now he got that off his back. He was like, all right, I want to go do it for my city. And plus, Wade knees getting bad, so I definitely need a better number 2. And he saw Kyrie and was like, yeah, that's a number 2 over there, and then I can go over there and talk to Dan Gilbert and say, hey, look, let me run the front office. I want who I want. Trade Wiggins, bring Love, do a mid-season trade, get J.R. Smith from New York, fire David Blatt, hire Ty Lue. He was doing all these things that he couldn't do in Miami.
And everyone else got to blame except him for the failures.
Well, I think one thing from that Miami style that LeBron played, me personally, I think he chose to play the style of ball that he plays now for longevity purposes. I mean, the grind of being that night in and night out, he wouldn't be in the league still now. I mean, your body tears down quickly that way. Like
which way?
Like how he was playing in Miami. I mean, man's them. LeBron takes quarters off in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're just counting up defense down. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to say, hey, I could still turn it on and turn it off at 37, well, because you've kind of had like 2.5 seasons where you wasn't as physical, you wasn't as explosive. Like, I tend to believe that your knees only got so many explosive jumps in them. And
unless you LeBron.
Now he keep getting new knees. Like
LeBron, hey, we got to give it to him. LeBron physically is made of something different, bro.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore athlete.
When you pay $1 million a year and keeping your body straight, I mean, you ain't got no choice but to.
Yeah, but that's a weird narrative because every player does except the ones who ain't making that much money. But every athlete, you think they got access to elite medicine and elite trainers, and they're not using it. Like everyone is doing as much as people like Kyrie.
Everybody has the potential.
I don't think everybody's doing. Yeah, everybody has their routines and everything, but I don't think anybody's doing like what LeBron is doing.
Are you serious?
Well, I want to point out nobody's as smart as LeBron in the way or as business oriented as LeBron in terms of take care of their body. So
I disagree.
Wait. The guy that LeBron used for his knees was from Kobe. Remember when Kobe went and got some type of blood
he got it from A-Rod. A-Rod had that same procedure overseas where they take the blood and they do something with it and they put it back in your knee and it kind of revitalizes. Right. I don't know. I do remember. I know what you're talking about though.
Right. See, y'all saying that just further proved he took his ass hairs and put them on his hairline.
Yeah, you might be right.
That's not something I want to think about. So
yeah.
It still didn't work for him.
I know he took his ass hairs and put them on his hairline. I know he did.
Yeah, they all doing some amazing things to keep their physicality up, man. I mean, look, either they're on a strict diet. Like, look at Jamal Crawford at like 42, 43. He still wanted to play before he retired the season, and he never looked like he couldn't play. And was always top 3-6 man in the league his whole time. Like, he looks great. Ray Allen looked great his last year in Miami. You couldn't tell that man was 38. Right.
They said Chris Paul. Chris Paul's been a vegan for like 3 or 4 years now because he wanted that longevity for his body.
Correct.
And so he completely cut out meat and stuff like that. And he's been on whatever kind of diet. But, to be a point guard in this league today, he's 36, I think.
37. He's same age as LeBron. He about 37.
And, still playing at that elite level, you see what I'm saying? It says a lot about both of these guys just taking care of their bodies. I don't think it's a big secret these days, but
right.
Sports medicine is coming on.
All the great ones are doing something unique to stay afloat, man. Lawrence Taylor put down crack for his whole career, and then the day he no, seriously, Lawrence Taylor did not touch a rock his whole playing career. The day he retired, he went and got a 20. The same day. He announced his retirement and said, "This is what I've been missing." He went and got a 20, and it was just like, these boys they're doing some elite level stuff, man. James Harden need to go vegan because his career.
He'll go vegan once they start making steak and chicken out of steak and chicken. Call it vegan. And he'll want to plant steak.
Hey, let me get to the comments real quick. Joshua said, Joshua said, I'll play with the guy who brings the best out of me, which is Kobe. So real quick, and a lot of people say that LeBron makes everybody better. But you laugh at. So this is my opinion on LeBron making everybody better. I think for people who are shooters only that can't get their own shot, and for big men who can't get their own shot in the post, those are the players that is going to be better playing with LeBron because he's such a good passer and he can set you up so well that all you got to do is catch and shoot or catch and dunk or catch the lob. So the Tristan Thompsons, he got paid big time playing with LeBron because all he had to do was set screen, catch an alley-oop. Kyle Korver's of the world, all he got to do is spot up, LeBron go find you because the double team's coming. So those are the guys.
Brian Jones or whatever his name was that played for Miami with him.
Correct. He got a bag for Booba Gibson, and without LeBron, Booba Gibson couldn't even stand the lead. So those guys, those are the ones that LeBron are better suited for. But if you're a star, a superstar like Wade, AD, Bosh, Love, J.R. Smith, Kyrie, you actually take a dip playing with LeBron because a part of your game, which is ISO, one-on-one, all those things, your opportunities to do that lessen because LeBron's gonna have the ball more than you are, right? So that's how I think. But with Kobe, he's gonna say, "Look, I'm gonna score, right? And we're gonna run this triangle offense, and everyone has equal opportunity to make a pass or take a shot in this triangle offense. So you got to up your level of offense to be as good and efficient as I am when you get your opportunities. I'm not going to set up and make all these opportunities for you because I'm also putting that much effort on the defensive end. So no, I'm not going to come down here and be everybody's savior and everybody facilitator on offense. That's what LeBron does. He does everything on offense and has nothing left for the defensive end.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just, it's crazy. You know how even Jordan at 36, 37 was like just feared in the league. Like, everybody knew they was going to have a tough night against Jordan, but it's like, and I hate to say it with the Lakers these past few years, it's like, none of these dudes are scared of LeBron like that. Like, they will go at LeBron any chance they get. Like, you had Brandon Ingram yelling LeBrick at the end of that Pelicans game. I'm just like, damn, like, but they just.
That's because Brandon Ingram would rather be in Hollywood than in the Big Easy.
You think that's disrespect? You think that's disrespect, or you think that is now that LeBron's down, we really go kick? Because I don't think they would be talking that much junk if LeBron was.
I think it's a bit of both. Like to me, I'm like, even like if I'm in Brandon Ingram's place, like you can't deny the greatness that LeBron has had. Like, you know, you probably looked up to this dude before coming into the league. And so it's one of those things like in your head, you're like, oh, I'm gonna try to kill him, I'm gonna kill him, you know, but at the end of the day, you gotta respect this dude for what he's done, you know, in the league.
Right.
You can't just go around just trash talk openly, publicly trash talking him like that, you know. Like I don't feel like he's on that level to be able to open his mouth and talk crap about LeBron. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. X, how you see it? Why you think everybody taking their jabs at LeBron this season and last season? Oh, X muted his mic. Chris, what you think of it? Yeah, either one. Why you think everybody taking turns taking their jabs at LeBron this year?
Well, I was gonna say yes. It's a fact of people just kicking him while he's down, but it's also just that I think it's the fact that they don't have anything to lose in this case. You know, back then when LeBron was in the East, he even if he was losing or getting beat up in the finals, he had the fact that he made it to the finals as like a fallback, and that other people weren't. But in this case, if you have three franchise stars on one team, and you struggling to even make the play in, it's the odds of people respecting you or your leadership.
That's a great point.
The fact that he's literally like taking games off like he did with Denver, specifically when he has to play against other elite centers, the respect level just isn't going to be there for people.
You think the respect level was ever there? This is what I think.
I don't think it was ever. No, I don't think it was ever. I just think, like I said, they have the opportunity to now. It has the opportunity to now come out. Like he's vulnerable. He can come out now.
I think when he was a made and protected man, and the league was still pushing and marketing him as their guy, I think you would be an idiot to go against LeBron and say,
it's still kind of hard though.
Nah. LeBron don't get star calls no more. You seen how they allow people to foul LeBron?
Right. No.
The league is not pushing LeBron no more.
Yeah.
Look, the league don't even care about KD no more.
Right.
Which is
you see how many free throws? Well, first of all, KD when he hit those he got fouled on the 3-point shot, hit 3 free throws, and pretty much iced the game. Did you see the foul that they called for Giannis to put him on the line to give them the lead back? There was no foul. He drove straight down the left and just dove. He thought he was gonna get body contact. He just dove at the defender and missed him. Like the defender didn't hit him. He threw up a shot. It was bad, and they sent him to the line.
The whistle was so damn late, and then they came out with the 2-minute report a couple of days later. Was like, yeah, there was no foul.
That was another play. That was a play. That was the play. Yeah, it happened. No, I'm talking about the one that was with 5 seconds left. He got fouled, throwing up a left hand. But the one you talking about that was on the 2-minute report was Giannis in the post against somebody got an echo on.
It's not me.
Oh, okay, but it was. Oh, what is that coming from? Can y'all hear that?
You can be me.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Somebody got the volume up or on YouTube or something like that.
Check. Okay, it's gone now. Who just okay? Check.
I can hear you.
It's you, Mike. Yeah. So the one you talking about, Chris, was Giannis was in the post with KD, and there was a phantom foul call on that one as well. So that one was a bad one as well. But so they did that in Milwaukee, and then they went and played. Who they played last night?
Did you watch what I told you to watch?
I just watched the highlights, and then I looked at the stat sheet, and I seen that Atlanta got 49 free throws in the game. 49. And Brooklyn only got 19.
They were still Atlanta was only up 3 with all that being said.
Crazy, man.
Still, did anybody watch that game? Did anybody watch the Brooklyn Atlanta game last night?
No.
So there was a shot clock violation that had got waved off, and the refs wanted to review it to make sure that the ball didn't make contact with the rim. Right. So they look and whatever. You can clearly see on the replay that the ball was not impacted by the rim. The ball did not touch the rim. The spin didn't change. The trajectory of the ball didn't change. The ball did not touch the rim. They gave Atlanta the ball back. Didn't even do a jump ball. They gave Atlanta the ball back with 13 seconds put back on the shot clock. I thought that was blasphemous. I mean, even the commentators was looking at the replay. They was like, yeah, I don't think that one hit the rim. Yeah, from all these angles, it doesn't look like it hit the rim. It didn't hit the rim. It didn't look like it hit the rim. Referee, after further review, ball did make contact with the rim. There was an inadvertent whistle before the shot was put up. Therefore, it's Atlanta ball, put 13 seconds back on the shot clock. I'm like, what the hell? And of course, Atlanta then hit another shot with the new time that they had, and it was just pretty much done after that. I'm just like, man, why is like
I was looking for that. I watched the highlights. They didn't show that. They didn't show that part. I didn't get to see it.
I might have to see if I can find it on YouTube and send it to you.
Okay.
That shit was
I didn't even see it.
And I'm just like, I'm not asking for, the superstar calls that LeBron got, a couple of years ago, shit like that. I'm not asking for that. It's just the fact that Brooklyn is in these games. Brooklyn is in these games. Kevin had 55. It was a new career high for him. Kyrie had finished the game with 31. And I think they were the only ones that maybe hit double figures. And if somebody else did, then it was very minimal.
No,
but they were the only two in double figures, and they were only down by 3.
Yeah, but you know how Brooklyn can fix that though. It's one thing when you realize, okay, we not it. We're not gonna get no help from the refs. That's cool. It's been teams that have overcame that. So what the Nets got to do if they know they're not gonna get the calls like that is, one, stop shooting so many jump shots. Get to the free throw line some type of way. Force them to make some calls. Start going to the hole. That's number one. Number two, you got to on the other end stop fouling. So they just got to play better defense, and they got to get some easy baskets. They need layups, and they need the others to get easy points. Right now, what they're doing is saying, we got the best two offensive players on the floor, and they just gonna give you buckets every chance they get, and that's not working. They can't play like that. Right now, it's bad basketball. What they did in Philly when they beat Harden and Joel Embiid, that was beautiful basketball. That was beautiful, but they're not doing that no more.
I think Ben Simmons will also help. Like you said, Ben Simmons playing would help a great lot, but we don't know what that situation is like.
Yeah.
But
I don't see how that dude stay hurt.
He has a herniated disc.
How? You see what I'm saying?
I think it's a situation. I think it's an injury that he's had.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, you got YouTube somewhere on your computer or your phone or something.
I didn't clicked everything off. I'll go through and double check this shit.
Yeah. But I don't know what's going on with Ben back, man. They said herniated disc, so I don't know, but yeah, he would help them a whole lot. It's basically impossible to get. They're talking about LeBron and the PDs and HGH thing. They never was able to prove any of that. So Brian sold the Lakers sold for the bubble ring. Facts. Remember when I told everybody in the group, the Pelicans won that trade, man. Think about it this way: the Lakers are going to be in a bad situation, and their draft pick this year is probably going to be a lottery draft pick. Guess who gets that pick? The Pelicans, because it was part of the AD trade. So if you're looking at the Pelicans was able to turn everything they got for AD into Zion, CJ McCollum, Jackson Hayes, and everybody's Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and plus another pick this season that's a lottery. Even if they don't get a ring in the near future, if they don't get a ring at all, I think they'll be playing more meaningful basketball for the next 10 years than the Lakers will. After LeBron, the Lakers are in the dumps for the foreseeable future. That
They have no picks. Too.
They don't got no. They got a second round pick in 2024 or 2025.
Because they sold all their picks, right? In 20 to get their 2020 ring. Yeah.
Yeah, they got no first round picks.
They sold everybody to get AD. I think the Pelicans got all them picks.
And so from what I recall, because I know Giannis had won the year before in a shortened season, but right now they still like a third seed. They still a top 3 seed in their conference.
Right.
So it's like it won't feel, as long as they they perform well in the playoffs and get a deep run in the playoffs and all that, it won't feel like it was some type of fluke that they won it in the previous year, because they still performing well now. With the Lakers, they didn't make the playoffs in 2019, but then they traded the entire roster away, a 2020 ring, and since then they've been trying to add new players in 2021 and now add new players now in this season, and last year there was a first round exit, and now they struggling to even make the playoffs. It just looks like a big fluke.
Can I speak on Joshua's comment?
Yeah.
This is why, and a lot of my friends they get irritated when I start talking smack about the Lakers and stuff, is because of that right there. When LeBron and the Lakers made all these moves, they went and got Russ, they went and got Carmelo, brought Dwight Howard back. You know what I'm saying? They did all this. LeBron did all this talking. He put out that tweet. He was like, keep that same energy. They saying we're old, saying we're washed, saying we ain't got it no more. And all the fans were like, oh my God, every signing. Oh my God, Carmelo's finally going to get a ring. Oh my God, we got Russ. That's the point guard that we needed. And I was just like, it's not going to work. It was like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, man. The Lakers going to be better than the KD and the Nets, blah, 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 blah. Y'all don't even got Kyrie. Woo-de-woo-de-woo. And I was, okay, all right, we'll see. And as the year progressed, we got what I knew was going to happen, but nobody else wanted to believe. And so now I am virtually unbearable to all my Lakers fans and LeBron stans friends, right? Because I keep going back to this tweet. I keep going back to, we kept the energy. Mel, you and me, we kept this energy. We haven't switched our energy up the whole season. What has LeBron and the Lakers done for us to change our energy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I agree. I think the players are just like, this is becoming an every year thing. You know, you saying keep that energy. We keep the energy. You don't.
Yeah. I'm hearing an echo.
It's not.
Mel, your mic is muted. Your mic is muted.
My mic is muted. Hey, Mike, just exit out and come back in just to see if that refreshes it.
Okay, so and yeah, remember the year before in 2019, he said he was turning on playoff mode, LeBron.
Yeah, I remember that.
Then he missed him.
I definitely remember that. And I think Josh was right, man. I think a lot of players, when LeBron was in position to talk trash, they felt a lot of it, man. And now that the tables have turned, they're letting him hear it. And low key, a lot of them didn't respect him for how he went about achieving some of the things he achieved, man. So yeah, they go let him hear it. And KD got his coming soon, because a lot of players didn't respect KD going to Golden State and making that unfair. Some people felt that was unfair, man. Like it was some people that just felt like as long as KD was there, wasn't nobody else go win unless somebody got hurt. Right. And they might be right, man. I don't know how you. I mean, that was a juggernaut, man. And so, I think on KD's way down, they gonna be talking some trash to him. The people that's trying to take over the league will be talking trash to him too. So it comes with the territory.
Can I make a prediction what I think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I think
it's gonna be the Kobe Bryant situation. Remember when Kobe Bryant was like from like 2007 to like 2011, when he was still at the top and he was winning chips and all that. He was getting a lot of respect from the media and all that, and and people weren't really they weren't really thoroughly analyzing the good and the bad. They were just focused on the good, obviously, because Kobe's really entertaining. He was making all this money. He was the top guy. When he retired, it looks like it was almost like within a snap of a finger, the people went to straight disrespect, like in the media, like just started straight disrespecting him and bringing up every flaw in his game. Like, and it's common even on YouTube now. People just like
Yeah.
talking about he damn arguing if he even top 10 and shit. Like well,
Yeah.
it looks like that's what is about to happen with LeBron. They're gonna wait until like he's like pretty much out, pretty much on his way out the league, and then they're just gonna start like straight like disrespect. Because it looks like LeBron's only there to be he's only there to entertain the GOAT conversation, to pull a narrative, to push a narrative for the GOAT conversation. It looks like when they're done with him and they can find somebody else, they're gonna tear him down. Because
it's not just gonna be the players, bro. It's gonna be everybody around the league as well. And it started this season when he wanted to try to pull off a trade and get Vogel fired, and Jenny Buss was like, "Nah, it ain't going down like that, player." Like now, when LeBron had the advantage was when he was at his best on the court because he could back so much stuff up, and you know, and then getting coaches fired, getting players traded, bringing in clutch sports clients on the squad, getting people contract. Like, this is the type of strings he was pulling, and people was like, all right, we're gonna go with it because, hey man, you about to get us ticket sales, you might even get us a ring, we're gonna be competitive. So now, all right man, we got to acquiesce. But now that you can't give that to us, you can't pull none of those strings. And it started this year. Nobody would trade with the Lakers. He wanted to get rid of Westbrook. Nobody would fire the coaches that he wanted fired. Nobody would hire Ty Lue like they wanted. They're saying no to everything he's doing. And I don't think it's going to be another franchise that's going to allow him to come in and let Clutch Sports run it. And the players ain't standing for it. And in the media, you might still have Shannon Sharp and Nick Wright vouching for you, but they got to keep their mouth closed now because you can't back up nothing they saying.
Right, and it's gonna be ugly in my opinion, because based off of when you go back and look, because there's so many videos of Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp making these predictions of how great they were going to be, not just on the Lakers, but this second stint with the Cavs. And when you have LeBron telling you he was going to win 8 straight on the Miami Heat, and when you talk about LeBron and that 07, the individual performance in that 07 finals, and his individual performance in the 2011 finals, that's when his career starts to wind down and he's just about out the league, that's gonna be like they're just gonna destroy him. I can just see it.
Yeah, they are. Chris, man, before we get out of here, last word, man. We're at 117. I just wanted to come in here and talk about that. I mean, we didn't really resolve the conversation, man. But for me, man, I just wanted to make that point, man. Like, I don't have LeBron over Kobe, man. It's for me, it's not even that much of a debate. Like, the debate starts with LeBron and Bird, and Magic. I think MJ, Kareem, and Kobe are set at 1, 2, and 3. And LeBron is not that high. And I think this Lakers stint is showing a lot of that and proving it. And it's also proving that their bubble was kind of fraudulent, man.
Fluke.
Yeah.
Definite fluke. But all right, fellas, man.
As long as you have MJ as number 1, it's fine.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Mel going down that hill about MJ at number 1.
I just come in and let people know, as long as you educated on basketball, have MJ as number 1. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Right? I mean, how could you not though? Like, what's the best argument for him other than Kareem? You can argue Kareem on paper, got a legitimate debate, but anybody else, how can you even argue anybody else number 1?
Yeah, the Kareem argument is all right. It's just you just gotta ignore the fact that he wasn't really the leader at the Showtime Lakers. Most of his chips came from. So
that's true.
That's a small dip, but yeah.
So for that same reason, does it kind of take Magic down a notch that he got all 5 of his rings with Kareem?
It takes, the thing that takes him down is he wasn't the Finals MVP for all of his rings. He was the leader though.
What about what takes Magic down for me, and how he doesn't reach the Kobe level, is because Kobe was as good on defense as he was on offense,
Right.
and Magic
Right.
Johnson was not existing as a defender.
Right.
Like he might have been a turnstile.
His contributions mostly came more so in a late. That's why I say if it wasn't for that late 80s and that early stint in the early 90s, I would have had Bird over him. It was that late.
Yeah.
It was the later half of his career that helped propel him to that thing. Because in the early, look at his earlier career, he not only wasn't, like you said, his defense was not only non-existent. He would Kareem was still their leading scorer, and Magic was sharing part of his floor general responsibilities with Norm Nixon. So he didn't even have a full-blown floor general responsibility at first.
Yeah.
So that second half of his career really, really saved him and upped his legacy.
That's facts. But yeah, all right, man. I guess we'll try to get into it next time, because we definitely didn't get into my brother from another mother, Jay, came in and kind of took us in a different direction. I originally wanted to actually get into like some of the specifics of what's on paper for Kobe and LeBron, but I think we'll do that in another video. We'll just have to do a part 2 to this, man, and get into it. But until next time, fellas, man, I'll see y'all.
Yeah.